Hi everybody, Jorge Devs here, and today I'd like to show you how easy you can switch peripherals and sensors using the Wilderness Labs Meadow software stack. So right now what I have here is an HMI screen on a YoshiPi, and you can see that it's giving me temperature, humidity values, and these are actual simulated sensors because the YoshiPi doesn't have actual sensors on board to make it cost more affordable for users. However, what we can do is we can actually change those simulated sensors with an actual one that is an I2C. It is a HTU21D. So let's plug this into the quick connector and I can show you Visual Studio how you can put this together. So let's plug this right now. Connect it right here. And important thing, you got to make sure that the LED, the green LED turns on and make sure that it's powered and connected properly. I'm going to leave it here on the prototyping zone. There we go. Perfect. So now let's head over to Visual Studio and I can show you how we can put this together. You go coding view. And here you can see as a refresher, this YoshiPi doesn't come with sensors on board, but it also comes with a lot of good things here that you can connect to. You have some microbus, we have quick connectors, the Grove connector, and some terminals here for I/O and power. And at the same time, you can also solder some of your peripherals, even the HTU, you can also put it in the prototyping zone here. These are all independently connected pins, so you can just put them however you like and then just make the proper connections from either I2C or SPI on the sides here. Let's go to Visual Studio, and here we have the sensor sample. This is my Yoshi samples repo that I have. That I'm posting or making a collection of YoshiPi samples. I'll have them on my repository and I'll have a link here so you can take a look. But the sensor samples here, the one that I want to show you. Notice that we have simulated temperature and humidity sensors declared here. And the important takeaway here is the way sensors work is you can invoke a start updating method, which is a way of monitoring or activating your sensors by giving it a certain interval of time. In this case is 1 second. And this means that in every second is going to fire an event called updated. And when you declare an event handler, it'll give you the actual reading at that time that that event was fired. So we have one for the temperature and one for the humidity sensors. And here are the event handlers. And here I'm calling the display controller, which is actually my HMI screen. And I'm actually just updating the temperature value and the humidity value. And that's why you can see the values refreshing on the screen. So let's go to NuGet packages and let's look for that sensor that I just connected. So if we go here on NuGets, let's do Meadow Foundation. I have it already here on cached. At Meadow Foundation, you can just look for HTU21. And you can see we have a NuGet package here that covers not only my sensor, but also a family of sensors. There's also the HTU31D. And now let's install that one right now. And while that's being added into my project, you can also go and look at the view README documentation. And we have here some a blurb about what the sensor does, some installation of how you can add it into your NuGets. And this is the important part, is the usage, a code snippet that shows you how you can actually use this sensor. So here we have the initialize, the way to initialize it. And here is the way I showed you. We have an updated event, and we can do it. And every second here, when we call this start updating, every second this is going to be updated, is going to be fired, and ergo we can just show the values here or the readings on every second. So if we go to back to our project, let's actually copy how we initialize the sensor. Perfect. Now this has been added. Let's go Meadow app, and now here let's do var sensor think I copied already the, oh, okay. So got the sensor here. And now here, we need to do a modification. Device always refers to as a prototyping device. So if you have a Meadow F7, it's going to refer to the Meadow F7 device. If it's a Raspberry Pi one, you're actually going to call the Raspberry Pi board itself. But YoshiPi is a composite of peripherals. So in that case, we have another property here called hardware. And that way we can actually reference the I2C that is in our quick connector. So that would be the appropriate way to actually initialize this sensor in particular. So now that I have my HCU21D object, now let's replace it with this simulated temperature sensor. So here I'm just gonna replace all this, and I'm just gonna assign it. It's gonna give me an error because the HTU is it's also a mix of sensors, right? So we need to actually cast it temperature. So what we need is to cast it to the actual sensor that we want. Hold on, temperature sensor. There we go. So all our drivers or in Meta Foundation are all interfaced. So the HCU21D is also an eye temperature sensor, but at the same time, it also has an eye humidity sensor. So if I do eye humidity here, then when we cast it, it's gonna behave like two separate sensors, but the driver itself is smart enough that even though they might look that they're independent, under the hood, they're gonna be thread safe, and they're gonna be behaving under the same thread to make sure that we're not duplicating or calling different things, even though we're going through the same sensor. So it's gonna be completely transparent for us. So once we do that, then we can actually build this application. Let's build and deploy. So we can send that over to our YoshiPi. All right, SSH connected. And whilst that's compressing, let me stop the application that's running right now. I'm connected here via SSH as well, so I can manually call it from Visual Studio. If you're new to the channel, I have also some videos walking you through how you can connect or deploy Visual Studio apps onto your YoshiPi via the network, which is really useful. Okay, upload completed successfully. Now what's left here is actually run the application again. .NET sensors.dll. And when I run this, let's switch to demo view again. And now we have here, these values have actually changed. Maybe if I hold on my finger here, you can see already that the temperature is already rising. So is the humidity. So we can see that is the actual readings from that sensor. So that's all that I wanted to show you. I hope you learned something here, and I'll see you more in the upcoming videos. Bye now.